everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is your girl Shantelly. For everybody new, welcome. Um, First off, I just want to start off for apologizing that it's been so long since I made my last video. Life just kind of hit me hard at the end of last year, and I knew, like, you know how I've been going through the different song genres. We did fun songs, flirty, self-love, breakup. This one's life and family, and I knew this one was going to hit me hard, so I kind of postponed filming it for a little bit just to get caught up on work and personal life and everything. And then all of a sudden, something unforeseen happened. On Thanksgiving Day, I woke up to the news that my grandmother had died, and that pretty much just destroyed me for the rest of the year. So I haven't really posted on social media or anything since her funeral. I kept I kept recording and doing, things privately. But even with that, I had to take a small break. So originally, my new album was going to come out in January, and I really just had to take a break. So I just finished the album recently and just got it uploaded for release. And so it will premiere March 7th. But I just had to take a break and focus on myself and to grieve. So anyway, a lot of the songs that I've written before talk about my life and family. And then definitely when you tune into the new album, Television Volume 3, you'll hear more just about the ups and downs and everything. I'm going to try my best not to cry through this, but sometimes, yeah, it might happen. The next one is OTSD. Other trauma stress disorder. A lot of times you hear people talk about PTSD, having post traumatic stress disorder. This is other traumatic stress disorder. So um, it just basically it's basically another type of PTSD. It can come from, it's more of like usually PTSD is something like major big happened and now you're traumatized by it, versus OTSD comes over time. It's just all the little pieces adding up. So more long lasting effect, and it kind of creeps up on you in a surprising way where you don't understand why is this happening, versus PTSD, you can almost understand it quicker and it can be diagnosed easier. OTSD, the makings of me. OTSD, you can never break me. Gotta get out, figure it out. I'm making it out. Gotta get out, figure it out. I'm making it out. OTSD. Let me know this tip. Have you ever gone to school with a busted lip given to you by a grown ass man? Have you ever gone to school with a busted lip given to you by a man? I have. Yeah, and for all the kids to see me at school with that busted lip, and it was so bad, like an extra flap of skin was hanging over. I couldn't even close my mouth. It was just hanging out, and I thought my lip would never go back to normal. And for years following that, you could still see like the indentation. And basically, it was from when I got punched. My bottom teeth went into my gum. I had to learn quick to use my hands. One girl tried to laugh at me, thought I was weak. It's survival of the fittest, no time for sheep. Bitch tried to punk me and push me off the bleachers, so I took her down. Going to school like that made me a target. And I mean, I already was shy, I already would get bullied a little bit. And so I had a few friends that I would talk to, some guy friends, during intramurals, which intramurals is basically after lunch, we had like 20 minutes where you can play basketball, volleyball, whatever's going on before your next class. And so those that didn't want to play, you can go sit on the bleachers and watch the game, talk to your friends. So I was over talking to my friends, and then I guess this girl, she had failed into our grade, and And she ended up falling into her grade mid-semester. I don't know how that works, but anyway, and so she, I guess, was interested in one of the guys, and I mean, I didn't like them like that. They were just my buddies or whatever, and so she was showing off a little bit. And since there was already like a mark on me for being a wimp, I guess, in some people's eyes because of the busted lip, which had nothing to do with school, but she thought I'd be somebody she could, bully and make a scene with. And so anyway, when I went over to talk to my friends, she started being disrespectful. I get up to leave, and then as soon as I stood up, she stood up, and she's like 6 foot tall. I'm 5'5", so I mean she's definitely taller than me. I'm not short, but I'm shorter than her. And then plus she's the bleacher above me, so she stood up after I stood up, and I'm going ahead to turn. And right when I go to turn, she pushes me, but I always had this habit of like looking out of the corner of my eye. So I saw when she was going to push for me. I didn't have enough time to do much because keep in mind she's above me. So when she pushes, it's already gonna have the bleacher below me, by my feet to trip me. Like, so all I could do in that amount of time was grab her and take her with me. And then, unfortunately I watch a lot of martial arts movies. And so, as she when she pushed me and I grabbed her, I turned in midair and we landed, bam. And I can remember that thud, and it was just like they were in the middle of playing volleyball, and everybody just stopped to look around, and I landed on her and just started punching. I mean, it was a natural reaction. And that was my second school fight. I think I had, well, the other one was on the bus. So this is my first fight at school. But like I said, I was a target where everybody thought I'd be the punching bag. And so I just was not going to have that because I knew I have to nip this in the bud. And so anyway, I don't know how many punches, but one of my friends, Seneca, he was across on the opposite side of the bleachers, and he said he saw the whole thing, and he said I was just, I mean, I do remember being on top of her. I had a little watch. I remember my watch snapping off, and the two PE teachers at the time, one guy, one female, they come running and pulled us apart, and she's just like screaming, calling me B word, like every name in the book, just flailing around on the ground, making a big scene. And I was quiet. I was dead quiet. And so I believe it was the male PE teacher. He walked me over to like the corner side, and then they were both trying to calm her down. So he told me, stay here. And he runs back over to calm her down. And Seneca said I just took my hair, because I would always usually wear my hair in a ponytail. So I just took my hair and pulled it back, fixed my ponytail. And at some point I looked around and noticed that my watch was missing. And so I was kind of just scanning, looking for the watch. And that's all I could really take in. And I was just like kind of calming myself down. But to anybody watching it, it would just probably be like, dang, she's nonchalant. Like she don't care. I did care, but just had to focus, right? And so anyway, they take us into the principal's office and, asked us what happened and stuff. And at some point, somebody gave me my watch, and I still, when I noticed my watch, it was all scruffed up. So that made me angry. And anyway, so they ended up letting us go back to class. And then when we went back to class, my teacher, who ended up being my track coach later in life, I'm a good girl, right? He wants to know, why did I get in a fight? And I didn't want to talk about it, because I didn't fully understand what had happened really myself. And I just didn't want to talk about it, because when you talk about things, it can make you tear up. Well, he was refusing to not let me talk about it. So he kind of bent my hand back to make me talk. And then I ended up telling him. And I don't even know what the point of that was, because I don't think he did anything about it. But anyway, like the next period, I was out at my locker. I had the bottom locker. And so I go to like get some stuff out of my locker, and here she comes. She wasn't in my class. She was in a different class, but we all have that same 7th grade hallway of lockers. And so she came by, and it was a big audience again. And so she's like, yeah, she basically threatened that she was going to get me after school. She's going to finish up after school or whatever. And so everybody's just like staring, like, what is Chantel going to do, kind of thing. But I knew You have to face your fears. And I was scared, you know. I had never planned to fight. She's bigger than me. But I knew like to just be scared. The whole rest of the year will go this way. And I can't have that. So I did what I knew to do. I looked her dead in her eyes, and she, when she said she knew where I lived and she's gonna get me after school, I said, I hope you do know we ride the same bus. And everybody was like, dang, or whatever. And then from there, like she ended up calling her mom and having her pick her up. And she didn't ride the bus that day. And then the next day she brought me Snickers, because like Snickers was my favorite candy bar at the time. And every day, no exaggeration, the rest of the school year, she brought me a snack and kissed my for the rest of the school year. So it worked out good. But the point is, I put it in the song about a girl trying to push me off the bleachers.
With me, let her taste the sneakers. My ex-boyfriend was a disgrace. That's why I had enough to spit in my face.
Whew. So fast forward a few years, first serious boyfriend. We're dropping my mom off in the middle of nowhere, like at her boyfriend's house. He lived like in the middle of the woods somewhere. And heading back, the dude just gets mad as we're driving. I don't even know what he's mad about. But you know, I can't take too much talking smack, so I just stood up for myself, whatever he's talking about. He didn't like that I was like standing up for myself, so he ended up spitting in my face. And like, have you ever watched probably if you haven't watched, you might have seen clips on TikTok or whatever of like Flavor of Love when Pumpkin spits in New York's face? Oh my gosh, that's the closest equivalent, but it was worse. It was all over my face. It felt like green slime. I mean, it probably wasn't, but it felt like green or gray slime all over my face. It stunk. I could smell it. And that was just torture for me. Like, but we were in the middle of nowhere in the woods. He's driving, so it's not like I could fight him back and we wreck on the road or whatever. It took everything in me to first off smell that, secondly to not retaliate. But I told myself as soon as we get parked, he's getting it. And yeah, needless to say, that was a long car ride home. We got home and I got out of the car, and he was like marching up to my apartment thinking he's gonna come in there and dominate or whatever, right? And so he was a little bit ahead of me heading up to the apartment, and I just sprinted up the courtyard and jumped him. I did a jump kick, kicked him right in his back, stomped him to the ground. And well, let's not continue with that. But got on in the house, locked the door, and that was the end. So we broke up from there. But horrible.
Once out the car, I dropped to get him in his back so he couldn't enter my house and continue to attack. If you hurt me, you're gonna hurt too. Eye for an eye is how.
If you hurt me, you're gonna hurt too. Eye for an eye. I definitely believe that.
We do, boo. All my life I had to fight for respect, safety, and what's right. If I can make it out, you can too. Find the strength that's inside you. We are not what they do to us. Their ignorance doesn't define us.
Their ignorance doesn't define us.
OTSD, the makings of me. OTSD, you can never break me. Gotta get out, figure it out. I'm making it out. Gotta get out, figure it out. I'm making it out. OTSD. Some people stay together for financial reasons. However, that was not my season. Waking up in a house with no power. In the dark, taking cold showers. I had to make a way out of no way. Surviving off one meal a day. Weekly shopping saving like 5 for 25 just to stay alive. I work 2.
Yeah, like so many times people want to stay together just because of financial reasons. I can't do it. I can't stay in a toxic situation and we stay suffering. Like I'm working 1 or 2 jobs, you're blowing your money for whatever reasons, and like our utility bill is our energy bill, like all that's just skyrocketing and there's no help. So yeah, that was torture for me. So that was probably the worst relationship I was ever in. Well, no, it was. It's the worst relationship I was ever in. So, thank you guys so much for going on this journey with me through the genres, the fun songs, the flirty, self love, break up, life and family, love, and then we wrapped it up with talk ish. That is 62 songs you have listened to with me. Stay tuned because March 7th, Television Volume 3 comes out, and there will be 13 more songs that I want you to enjoy. 75 songs I've knocked out in 5 years' time. Wow. And I have more in the vault. So if you have not clicked like yet, click like on this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and I will see you soon. I love you. Stream Shantelly Lace music. Subscribe to the channel. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you.
OTSD. Let me know this tip. Have you ever gone to school with a busted lip? Given to you by a grown-ass man. I had to learn quick to use my hands. One girl tried to laugh at me, thought I was weak. It's survival of the fittest, no time for sheep. Bitch tried to punk me and push me off the bleachers, so I took her down with me. Let her taste some sneakers. My ex-boyfriend was a disgrace. That's why I had another spit in my face. Once out the car, I tried to get him in his back, so he couldn't enter my house and continue to attack. If you heard me, you gonna hurt too. Eye for an eye is how we do, boo. All my life I had to fight for respect, safety, and what's right. If I can make it out, you can too. Find the strength that's inside you. We are not what they do to us. Their ignorance doesn't define us. OTSD, the makings of me. OTSD, you can never break me. Shantelly.